Hi guys, and welcome to Escape with Watch Reviews. My name is Steve, and today we're looking at the Hruodland model F029. I received this watch for free, and I don't have to send the watch back, but you guys know the deal by now. No matter how I get a watch in on this channel, you're always going to get my honest opinion every single time. And if by the end of this review you want to pick one of these up, I'll be leaving a link down in the video description. That is an affiliate link, so if you use that link, you're not paying any extra. It's just a nice, easy, and free way for you guys to support the channel and help keep things running here. The watch retails for about $214 US. That's before any taxes, sales, coupons, customs, etc. I am seeing this currently on sale for $184 plus some additional discounts, which brings it down to $165 US. So there are some pretty good sales to be had on this watch. It comes in 3 different colorways that you can see here. They're all kind of interesting. You kind of have that split black and brown dial, and then you have this waffle dial, and then just a traditional black dial too. So yeah, a couple different options for you. They do also sell this with a bit more text on the dial, so if you want that version as well, I will leave that link down below. I think this is definitely a cleaner look though. The watch case is made of 316L stainless steel, has a sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating, screw down crown, screw down case back, 200 meters of claimed water resistance, and the watch is powered by the Seiko NH38 automatic movement. So Hruodland, whatever you want to call it, they've always made very nice watches. And with a few tweaks, I think they could become one of the top brands on AliExpress. They pay a lot of attention to the little details, and now that they're taking advice from the buyers on Reddit Chinese watches, they're fixing some of their silly mistakes that they put on the dials. So yeah, I have a couple Hruodland watches in the collection. So let's see if this one is worth adding to yours. But before we do a quick wrist check today, wearing the Venezianico Nereid. This is the 39 millimeter. Still got to do a review for this one, probably next for you. All right, let's get into dimensions. We got a case diameter of 35.7 millimeters, case thickness of 11.8 millimeters, got a standard 20 millimeter lug width, lug tip to lug tip of 43.2 millimeters, and on the full bracelet, it weighs 119 grams. So for me, personally, it's a little bit small, but I know this is going to fit a lot of wrist sizes. The 36 millimeter sports watch is an excellent and a very good selling watch. I think they nailed the proportions on it. The bezel I don't think is overly thick or overly thin. The dial looks very nice and proportionate as well. So yeah, I think they just nailed it. And for me, like I said, for me, it's a little bit too small, but it is super, super comfortable. So I'm going to go outside right now, throw it on my wrist for you. And here we are on my 7.5 inch wrist, and as you can see, it wears fine. Obviously it feels a little bit small for me personally, but it's super, super comfortable. You can see pretty flat case there, but really nice slim profile. I love all the polishing on the bezel. The crystal is excellent as well, so really happy with it. Legibility has been excellent. And here we are, a little bit more sunlight there. See, direct sunlight gets a little bit washed out on camera, but really it's not that bad in person. But you can just see how dynamic the dial is. I think it looks pretty cool. Alright, let's go throw it on some straps and let's get back to this review. And here we are on a cut to size FKM. This is the Tropic style. I'll leave the link down below for that one. Looks pretty cool. I think the texture on the strap matches the dial pretty good. And just a black rubber strap on this thing, I knew it was going to look nice. Next up, here we are on another cut-to-size FKM. This is the smooth one. Again, I think it looks pretty cool. Kind of brings out the vintage vibes of it. Yeah, leave the link for that down below as well. These straps are awesome. You should probably just grab a few anyway. And here we are on a Vario vintage leather strap. I think that looks awesome. Looks really, really good. I love the taper on this one. Matches perfectly with this watch. Anything less than a taper down to 16 looks a little funny in my opinion. So, yeah, that's how I would rock it. What do you guys think of that one? All right, got a couple more for you. And here we got just a single pass strap in khaki. You can see one layer underneath the watch there. It's nice. This is from CNS Watch Bands. I'll leave the link for this down below. Yeah, really like that combo. Matches the indices kind of perfectly. And here we are on a double pass nylon strap. This is kind of a No Time to Die style strap there. I don't like the strap, so I'm not going to link it for you, but I think it looks pretty cool. yeah, it looks like I said, it just looks really good on this. I think the color combination is perfect for it. 2 layers underneath there, still sitting pretty good in my opinion. All right, let's go back inside. Let's get back to this review. All right, so let's talk about the case finishing. So case finishing is a mixture of brushed and polished surfaces. You can see a fully polished bezel there. It looks absolutely fantastic. The polishing is super high quality. You can see the brushing on the tops of the lugs. It's kind of that angular vintage style brushing, very consistent from lug to lug, which is nice. You have a polished side profile here. You can see it is not just a straight side there. You can also get a nice look at the bezel. It kind of undercuts itself right here, which is an interesting little touch. I think it looks good, and it's polished underneath that little bezel there. It just looks very nice. Flipping it to the crown side here, you have a 6mm screw down crown, unsigned, fully polished. It's a nice size crown, good grip, and all that fun stuff, but I would have liked to see the Roland anchor on that. I think it would look pretty cool. You do have drilled lugs on this, which is nice to see. And I think everything here is just finished very nicely. Flipping the watch over, you can see here you've got a brushed and polished case back, simple coin edge style. I wish they would just use a simple notch style, but this is what we're dealing with here. You do have quick release spring bars. The bottom of the lugs are brushed there. You can see it's nicely rounded off here. So, this bottom edge here is very soft. There's no kind of sharp edges on the case back either. It's a very comfortable watch. The only place I found sharp edges, which is typical for these watches, are these lug tips, both inner and outer. They're a little bit sharp. They could have knocked those down just a little bit, but it's not something you really notice. And unless you're like holding it on these points, that's the only time I really noticed it. But I figured I would point it out to you because honestly, the case finishing on this watch is exceptional. They did a very, very nice job. The case polishing is done very nice, and the transitions are just razor sharp there. So yeah, they did a very good job. All right, so let's talk about the crystal. First things first, tested for sapphire. It is positive for sapphire. So we have a very nice box dome style sapphire crystal with clear and reflective coating. It's a very nice dial. I gotta say, they did an excellent job with it. They picked a good one. The distortion on the edges looks fantastic. It's a nice big radius on that corner there, so it really distorts the edges nicely, but top down, it's not obstructing the dial at all. I think it does a very good job of keeping this dial nice and legible. Not a whole lot to say about it. It's a pretty high dome there, but it looks absolutely fantastic. So I chose the waffle dial. I think it looks really, really cool. You can see how it changes depending on how the light's hitting it. Sometimes it just looks like a black dial. Other times it kind of looks gray. It's just a really, really cool color and cool texture. You can see there pretty nicely down. I believe it's just stamped. You do have a printed minute track here on this outer section of the dial, which is just a smooth texture, which I think was the right decision. You have printed dial indices, triangle at 12, numerals at 3, 6, and 9, and then batons everywhere else. It all looks very good. The printed faux patina, I think, matches with the hands during the daytime. Pretty much spot on, and it's not overcooked or anything like that. They did a really good job with the coloring on it. I think it looks fantastic. It is BGW9 too, so they tinted the BGW9, which is typically white, and then they tinted it this color. So you do get that ice blue glow, which was a little bit surprising to me. So interesting. We'll get to the Lume here in just a second. But yeah, the dial I think looks good. The handset that they chose is just perfect for this. The proportions on the hands look fantastic. The finishing on the hands is excellent as well. There's no fluff under the dial or anything like that. No rough edges that I could see to the naked eye. It looks really, really good. Very happy with the execution on this dial. The proportions, everything looks good. I went for this model, which has the Hruodland anchor logo there, which I think looks pretty cool, and then just the simple automatic 200 meters there. They do have one that has a little bit more text. It says roasted oyster and then high specification watch. It's a little silly, but I guess some people are liking that now. So, if that's the one you want, I will leave that link down below as well. I think this is definitely the cleaner of the two. My only real complaint is the texting is really, really hard to see, and it just doesn't look very crisp. When you get it up real close like this, it looks fine, but when you're looking at it from like eye distance away, it kind of just doesn't look as crisp and clean as they could have done, and as I've seen in the past. So it's just something I noticed, but it's not that bad. It's just interesting. They could have done a little bit better. You can see there that the automatic is printed right on the crosshatch pattern there. Same with the logo up here. So they could have just printed that on a little raised section and it would have looked a lot better. I've seen like the Chronos that I recently did. Let's see if I have it here. So you can see here the Chronos, the text on the Chronos. It's a very textured dial, but the Chronos, even the automatic down here, is printed on a little raised section. It's ultra crisp and easy to see and easy to read. Doesn't look blurry, which is not the case for this watch. That's really my only complaint about the dial. Also, the lume is okay on this watch. So I'm going to pop it up against a couple other watches in the collection. You can see it here against the Alpinist and the other Hruodland in my collection. You know, it stays pretty even with those. It is that ice blue glow. It's kind of hard to tell in the video, but it is a blue glow. The hands hang on really, really good. The hand lume on this watch is excellent, but the dial lume is not the best. It's not horrible, but it definitely could have used a few extra layers on the dial. But for the most part, it's fine. I wasn't quite able to read this in the middle of the night, so don't rely on this for, you know, full-time night visibility. But, you know, the lume is okay on it. All right, so let's talk about the movement inside. So the movement is the Seiko NH38. It's the same as the NH35, except for it's a no date movement. So there's no ghost date position, which is nice. 21,600 beats per hour. It hacks hand winds roughly 40 hours of power reserve, bidirectional winding rotor. It does everything you need to do. They are accurate enough. Here's how this one has been running, plus 8 seconds a day. Cannot complain about that. Nice solid accuracy out of this one, and yours should be pretty good. I think I've always had good luck with the Hruodland watches. I still don't know how to pronounce it, but you know, I think these movements are excellent for a watch like this. They're robust. They're easy to replace or service or find parts for if you want to. So yeah, I'm really happy with the movements, and I'm glad that they picked the proper NH38 no date movement for this no date watch. So yeah, again, there's just not much to complain about. This one is operated by the 3 o'clock screw down crown. Super smooth screw in, screw out action. First position is your hand winding. Second position hacks the movement, jumps right into time setting. You can see the alignment spot on there. Yeah, really happy with it. It's got the crown has a little bit of wobble to it, but not anything that I haven't seen before. Really, really happy with it. The threads, they pick up immediately. And again, nice screw down action. Very happy with the movement, very happy with the crown. All right, so let's talk about the bracelet. So the bracelet on the watch is 20 millimeters, and it tapers down to 16 millimeters at the clasp. It's a 3-link bracelet, solid links, solid end links, female pivot end links. You have quick release spring bars as well, which is nice, and they're really low profile. I actually had a little bit of trouble getting this off, you know, compared to some of the other watches in my collection. These are a little bit harder to get off, but they do provide you with a drilled lugs there if you want to go that route. But the bracelet, it's very nice. Screw pins for sizing. I didn't remove any links for my 7.5 inch wrist, so just something to consider. If you have bigger wrists than that, you should probably be finding a 39 millimeter, but you know, this is not a bad bracelet at all. I think the tolerances are good. The finishing looks really good. Very, very nice. Polished on the sides there, so it matches the case nicely. The fluidity of the bracelet is excellent. It doesn't pull my hairs. The bottom edge here is nicely rounded off, so it's a very comfortable bracelet. One of the more comfortable 3-link style bracelets I've seen. And then the clasp. It's your typical kind of Rolex style of clasp, where you have this fold over here, and then this part here separates from the watch, milled on the inside, fully polished here. Nice tight tolerances. I mean, that is not wiggling at all. So it opens and closes exactly like you would expect it to. So pretty happy with that. And then on the inside, you do have a on-the-fly adjustment system. So you got, man, I don't know, probably 15 millimeters of adjustment there. It's nice and smooth. It doesn't really catch on itself too badly. Yeah, I'm really happy with the clasp on it. There's not really any sharp edges. Usually these back edges here are sharp, but on this case here, you can even see that they rounded those off a little bit. So yeah, I'm really happy with this clasp. I don't typically like this style of clasp. I prefer just like a side button one, but this one's not bad. You can see that it is almost as long, if not just as long as the case, maybe even longer than the case. So it does feel a little oversized for the watch head, I'll say that. you know, the watch definitely does not feel top heavy, which is nice. It feels a little bottom heavy, if anything. But, you know, the whole setup, quick release spring bars, nice tight tolerances on the bracelet, and then you get the on the fly adjustment. You know, you're going to be able to get a perfect fitment on this watch, and overall, it's a very comfortable watch to wear all day long, honestly. So there you go, guys. That is the Hruodland F029. Honestly, there is a ton of these watches out there for you to choose from. Honestly, though, I think this is one of the better ones. I think they got the proportions just right on it. I think the faux patina look is excellent. The dial is very cool as well. You can still see it plain in the light there. It looks really, really cool. You got a good bracelet, really nice crystal, decent lume, the proper movement, and an on-the-fly adjustable clasp, all for $165. You know, it's going to be hard to beat. You know, there's obviously lots and lots out there to choose, so do your research. But yeah, this is one of the better ones if you're going after that vintage style. I would say it's this one or the Baltony, and probably the Addie's Dive. I think St. Martin does a vintage style one too. So, you know, you're going to have to choose between those three. They're all very, very nice watches, and I think good for the money. This one is just, I don't know, they did something right with this one with the proportions. I think it's all down to the proportions on this one. They just kind of nailed it. So I do really, really like this one. Sadly, 36 millimeters is just too small for me. So I do have a Chronos 39 millimeter coming in. Again, we'll get to that later. I think that's it for me. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.